People are still watching it in theaters.
A sucker's born every minute.
Every minute. And there's another one.
All right. Welcome back to the podcast,
Redeemed.
We are still following along with our main man, Moses.
He's a busy guy.
He is a busy guy.
What happens to Moses?
Yeah. I was telling my wife today, I feel like I'm Moses, from the aspect of...
Do tell.
With this whole new becoming a pastor at East Coast Baptist Church.
Okay.
Because you fought it tooth and nail.
I did.
That's fair. Fought it for years.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I was laughing because the water heater guy came today, which did you know that's my responsibility?
I didn't. I thought it'd be Steven.
Should have called your facility guy.
Yeah, where's the facilities guy on that?
As the new pastor, you have to meet the water heater guy down there so he can check that. So I did that today, filling my responsibilities.
Nice.
I keep trying to tell these people my pay doesn't start till next month, though.
That is fair.
Yeah, well, we're getting some free work out of you.
So anyway, so he asked me how I became the pastor. So he goes, "So you're the new pastor?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "How did that happen?" I said, "I tried really hard to avoid it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here I am.
That's what you get.
Yeah, at least you didn't go like full Jonah levels of avoiding it.
I didn't jump and go the other direction.
You stayed on a Moses path where it's like, really, God?
Yeah.
Nah, surely there's another
Lord,
person.
is there anyone better? There's got to be
It's
someone
gotta
better.
be. At least you didn't drag somebody else into the fire like Moses drug Aaron.
Not yet. He's not pastor yet. Be careful.
It'll be him.
I've been drugged so far. I'm not sure how much further I can get drugged at this point.
Worship leader at this point.
There you go.
Coming for your job, Joey.
Oh, man. And it is kind of funny because I went to that associational Christmas party, too.
Yeah.
And everybody there, thanks to Phil Peters, knows that I'm the pastor of East
Pastor
Coast
Asa.
Baptist.
Yep.
Pastor. And so everybody was congratulating me.
Nice.
And I just think it's funny because it's like, do you people realize I didn't even interview for this job?
That is true. Why didn't we interview you?
He's been on the job interviewing for the past year and a half.
I should have demanded an interview.
I would have. That would be really funny. So
Yeah, 'cause
anyway.
that's what you wanted to
Man.
do was another one.
That'd be fine. Yeah, do another one. Why not? What's
But-
one more?
I mean, and don't mishear me. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to do this, and I'm excited to do it. But it's just funny for the aspect of it. These people have a different mindset in their mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That I actually went through this. It's like,
Yeah.
yep,
Nope.
No.
no,
Guy's on a trial run right
yeah,
now.
trial run. And that's what I told them too. I said, yeah, for I said, for at least the next 3 years. I said that's what's going to happen. They're like, so what's special about 3 years? You going to leave?
Potentially.
Well, I
Yeah.
said at some point if they want to find a full-time pastor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see how this process works.
And apparently there's a new label for me because this is a new kind of title for preachers now. It's co-vocational.
Co-vocational instead of bivocational.
Yes. Because it means that you're not doing another job so that you can keep doing ministry. You're actually got one job and you're doing ministry on the side.
Oh. Okay.
I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah. So you're doing both at the same
Yep.
time instead of with the other one, you're doing the other job so you can keep doing the ministry. Does that
Right.
make sense?
That makes sense.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting too.
I'd never heard that.
Yeah. So I am co-vocational.
There you go.
Nice.
And I digress. But so all that to say is I sometimes I can relate more to Moses now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's fair.
And with that being said, we are coming down to probably kind of the last few chapters here that we're probably going to be covering about Mr. Moses. There's a lot there, but I think that once we're done with the next couple chapters, we'll probably make a jump and start looking at some other stuff. But we cannot leave this story without talking about this. It's probably, besides the Passover and that last plague, it's probably one of the most well-known.
I would say it's definitely a top 5 most well-known Bible story.
And it's probably more well-known than the last plague, too. Because, I mean, if you talk
would
about
say
Moses,
that.
what's the one thing that always comes?
This is definitely the most well-known thing that Moses did, for sure.
Yeah. And that is, he split the Red Sea.
Most people that have no knowledge of the Bible know about Moses parting the sea.
Yep. And it really is. So, once again, the way it all plays out, and the way that we have Pharaoh, once again, who decides that he does want the people back.
Yeah. Never heard of no take-backs.
Especially after everything he just lost.
Yeah.
Everything. Okay?
Lost his
Now-
firstborn.
Now, unfortunately, this is going to cost him dearly.
Yes.
I mean, he already lost his son, but this is going to cost him even more.
Which is crazy to say.
Uh-huh.
But it is.
It is.
Very true.
So a little time basically passes. The Israelites left, and the Pharaoh decides that he wants his slave force back. He liked having that slave force.
Yeah, I liked having them around.
He liked them to do his stuff for him, and so he decides he wants them back. So he basically rounds up his army and says, "Let's go get them." At this point, the Israelites are fast approaching the Red Sea.
Yeah.
And they're getting kind of scared because the sea's in front of them and Pharaoh's behind them.
Yeah.
Something isn't adding up here, God.
This is the way we're going, Moses? Really?
Moses.
You see this big body of water?
Did you see a ship anywhere to get us across? That's what they were probably looking for.
Yeah.
Yep.
They were walking up. Moses, where's the boat? Huh?
How are we?
It's like, why?
Yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine. And then you're also Moses. You walk. I mean,
he's wondering too.
He's
Where is
thinking,
the boat?
I don't know. I thought God would have had a boat here for us, guys.
Yeah.
And so what do? Immediately they start complaining to God. Well, the Israelites complain to Moses, and then Moses complains to God. And God's like, "Why are you complaining to me?"
Well, this is also where they say, "Didn't we say to you in Egypt, leave us alone, let us serve the Egyptians?"
Yeah.
It's like
This is when that whole thing starts.
It's the old Veggie Tales. We were in slavery.
So if Pharaoh had God, I wouldn't they'd have gone right back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like,
All right, we'll go back. You're right, Pharaoh. We do like it there.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Yep. Moses trying to tell him, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see today, you will never see again." That's a fact. The Lord will fight for you. You only need to be still.
Yeah, but I still think it's interesting. The Lord said to Moses, "Why are you crying out to me?"
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
What am I supposed to do?
I guess I should ask, or maybe he should have. Maybe God's thinking like, "Hey, maybe just ask."
Yeah. Like, now what? What's next?
Now what do I do, God?
But I don't know. I just thought it was a weird response. It's just,
No, it's
why
fine.
are you crying out to me? Tell the Israelites to move on. Okay, Lord, where are we moving?
Yeah.
It does say here in the commentary. There we go. Wasn't Moses supposed to call on God for help? And it does say the text here is difficult to interpret, but the implication seems to be that Moses, despite the confidence he expressed in verses 13 and 14, received God's rebuke because he was the representative of the people who were voicing their fears in 11 and 12.
And so I think Moses was getting nervous. I think is what we have here.
Yes.
No, Moses himself was getting nervous, and so then his request to God wasn't, "Hey, Lord, what do you want me to do?" It was, "Help! Help!"
And God's telling him, "Hey, dude, chill.
Yeah. Chill out.
Yeah.
Just chill, dude.
I got it.
When I get to it, I'll get to it."
Yeah. Raise your staff, stretch out your hand over the sea to divide the water so the Israelites can go through it on the sea on dry ground.
And right there he's thinking, "Oh, of course, God. Why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I think of that?"
And this is why I'm crying out, God.
Yeah.
that was why.
Yeah. Right there. That's the reason why.
Nope. You got great ideas, man.
Yeah. And then at this point, so of course Moses does that, and the angel of God, though, who's traveling in front of them, jumps to the behind them, and the pillar of cloud moves in front and stands basically between the Israelites and the Egyptians, and makes it so that the Egyptians really can't get through. And basically, if I'm understanding my timeline correctly, they were actually pretty much there all night long while the ground was drying out.
Yes.
So they could cross.
Yeah, the pillar of it was clouds, right? It wasn't pillar of fire yet. But basically that pillar just kept Pharaoh's army at bay.
Which would be interesting too, because it's like, okay, so
How did that look?
Right.
Yeah. Like, what was happening?
Big cloud can't go through it.
Yeah.
but it's a fiery cloud though too.
Was it on fire? Did we talk about that?
Yeah. At the beginning it was a fiery cloud, I'm pretty sure.
No, I wouldn't
Levi,
go through it. I
fact
wouldn't go
check
through it
Right.
either.
But I'm pretty sure it was a fiery cloud. And so, I mean, I wouldn't go through a fiery cloud either.
No, that's fair.
I've seen twisters. I've seen a fire NATO. I wouldn't do it.
Feel it, chase it.
Okay.
You wouldn't understand, Amanda. You haven't seen the movie.
No, I'm not watching it.
Hater.
Just out of spite now.
I am a professional tornado wrangler.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, we digress. So anyway, it was enough though to keep the Egyptians at bay. Which, it'd be interesting if you're the Israelites. Okay, who's got guard duty tonight?
Yeah.
Are they coming through yet? Nope, don't see them yet.
I want to know how many Egyptians tried. How many guys did Pharaoh send? Okay, we'll go around it, and then they just kept going and going and going. Doesn't end that way.
That way.
It's over the hedge when Hammy runs all the way down. Doesn't end that way. It goes further that way too. Same thing.
And
Who
then
was the poor guy.
And then you have to wonder on the other end if they had a guy, an Israelite, who had to keep running out there checking to see if they could get across. You know what I'm saying? Nope, still too muddy, can't go.
Still soaked. How many guys got stuck down there?
It started knee deep. It's ankle now, so we're getting closer.
We're pretty close.
Needless to say, the ground does dry, and they all start to walk across. And once the Israelites get across, which once again, there's so many elements to this story that make me ask questions. For one, if you're Pharaoh and you see the sea split in front of you, why in the heck would you go chase him?
I would not.
I would not. I would
But
say,
let's turn this around and go home.
We done.
if I was Pharaoh, even though it's very clear at this point that their God is very real because of all these plagues that he just hit me
Yeah.
with, that would be the ultimate sign. It's like, hey, that water is really tall. That ground is dry. They are walking across. Maybe we just let them be.
Yeah. Or let's chase them.
And you're mighty powerful Egypt. You couldn't go find someone else to be slaves?
Nope. I like those guys.
Yeah, so that's what they did. And it,
And
you
then,
want to talk about a backfire.
yeah, chariots got stuck, and basically the Lord swept them away.
600 chariots.
Yep. They are no more.
So many chariots.
And I think I saw a video one time, some of my homeschooling stuff, they had these documentary Bible videos. And if you go and actually send...
They've recovered.
there's Egyptian stuff on the bottom of the Red Sea.
Yep.
Well, that makes sense.
They've recovered artifacts down there.
Yep.
And then it's actually funny. I was reading the commentary here. Do Egyptian documents verify this event? And it's funny because
you would think
Probably differently, though.
Well, no, because it says here it was uncommon for pharaohs to record their defeats.
That's why I was going to say probably. I wouldn't think so.
So they often rewrote history, deleting from official records the names of traitors and political adversaries.
Yeah.
It's not surprising Egyptians didn't want future generations to know that Pharaoh's army was destroyed, chasing runaway slaves.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that'd be something they'd want to remember.
No.
Imagine how diminished Egypt would have been at that point.
Yeah.
Because they
All those
lost all the
plagues.
firstborn. They lost all of their firstborn animals. And they just lost their entire army. What was left of the army after the firstborn had died?
Yeah.
That's true.
You know? I mean, it's just... Yeah.
The army was decimated after the Passover.
Yeah. And so, to me, the fact that they... Yeah. And like I said, and then you see wall of water and you decide to chase them, that seems like a good idea.
I will right now. I'll put it on record. If I'm ever chasing somebody and I see 2 walls of water on each side, they officially got away.
Yep.
You guys did it. Good work. You made it.
It's on the record.
It's on the record.
As the sheriff said in that
All the
Silverado
auction free.
movie when the guy shot his hat off.
Yeah.
My jurisdiction ends here. And he turned around and went home.
And I'm out.
Yep.
See you guys never.
But once again, you're just looking at a God who is all powerful. You know, it cracks me up how even through all of this, though, the Israelites and even it seems like Moses seems to doubt God
Every time.
I mean, that's why you get that response of why are you crying out to me?
Yeah.
You
You don't think I got this?
I mean, we're tough.
Walls of water.
I mean, I just turned things to blood. I just sent locusts and hail and frogs and created snakes out of staffs. You know what I'm saying?
And decimated the Egyptian population.
Yeah. And you are still not trusting me. But this is the cycle that you see with the Israelites throughout their history.
Yeah.
Over and over and over
again. I mean, it doesn't get any better once they get through the Red Sea.
No.
Which we may look at a few more kind of key points that happen before the Israelites actually get to enter into the Promised Land.
Yeah, there's some good stuff in there.
Yeah, there is. And so maybe we'll cover a few things. And we get to add a few more characters in there like Caleb and Joshua. And Joshua will be, of course, a front runner.
Yeah, Joshua, good guy. Smart guy.
And, and we should probably bring up the part where we talk about where Moses made his big mistake.
Yeah.
Because at some point, Moses didn't do exactly what the Lord told him to do, and it cost him
Dearly.
the ability to enter into the Promised Land. He got to see it, but he didn't get to enter.
I think that's worse.
Yeah, I think so, too. That's what you could have had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes it worse.
Yeah.
Now go live out here in exile.
Well, it would have been worse for the Israelites because, hey, you guys decided you didn't want to go in. Guess what? You get to walk around for 40 years.
Yeah.
If I was a kid, I'd get so mad.
I had no say. Now he's got to wander the desert.
You know,
What, Mom, Dad?
and not only that, I mean, because I was reading it with my kids too, and it says in there that God tells those people that anybody who is this certain age, you will die in the wilderness.
Yeah.
Yep. That had to be tough
Yeah.
to hear.
That would be a bummer.
It's like, man, I guess I'm just never going to see the promised land.
Yep.
That's a
After
bummer.
all this time.
Yeah.
I would have liked to know how many, and maybe it does say, I just didn't see it. How many people actually entered into the promised land when they finally got to that point where they actually went in?
Right.
Because I mean, you had that first
Yep.
at least the first, second generation that died because they weren't allowed to enter in.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
We'll
I
get
mean, you
to all
had
that.
several things along the way, like the ground opening up and swallowing some. You had some that died from a sickness and snakes, and I mean,
A lot happened.
and it just cracks me up how much Moses interceded for the people too.
Time and time again.
Oh man,
Yeah.
time and time again, God was like, "I'm going to start over.
I'm
Get out of the
wiping
way."
them. This is it. They're all dying.
Yeah, and
Right
then-
now.
and it cracks
Hold me back.
because as you're reading through it, it's like as soon as the Israelites started to complain, Moses and Aaron hit the ground.
Like, no, guys. You guys really don't know what you're doing here.
And immediately they were talking to God, "Lord, don't do it. Don't do it, Lord. It wouldn't look right. You brought them all the way out of Egypt and then you killed them."
Yep.
I just don't know. I just wonder how many times Moses and Aaron would look at each other and like, okay, maybe he's right. Maybe let's just take him out. These guys
Yeah.
are really starting to drive us nuts.
Especially when the Lord says, "Hey, Moses, I'm going to start over with you.
Yeah.
Go for it."
Sounds good, God. Take him out. Everybody go that way.
I didn't want this job anyway. Anyway, a lot of good stuff. Moses is a fantastic character to study about. He had so many character things that are. I mean, the way that he was able to communicate and change God's mind.
It was me.
What were you doing?
Apparently this makes
He's tapping on. Stop.
ADHD. It's not my fault.
Oh my goodness.
Squirrel.
This tapping in my ears. Like, what the heck is that? Oh, this moron over here tapping on the microphone.
Squirrel. Can't hold
So
still.
anyway, God's pretty big, and He can handle any problem we got. The key is, I mean, the key throughout all this is you just better obey, you know,
Yeah.
Yep.
and just trust Him,
Yes.
you know, and don't let your first response be when things get a little tough to be, "Hey, Lord, say it."
You should have left us in slavery.
Yeah. But look at it from the from the aspect that God's trying to do something, bring glory to Himself, and He's trying to make you grow a little bit too.
Amen.
All right, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.